teachers of students learning fluency have to provide two kinds of instruction. Now, the first one we talked about is not real instruction. It's just modeling what good readers sound like. But to really get a student to be fluent, you have to explicitly teach students what fluency looks like and sounds like. And I talked about this earlier in the presentation, but as a new teacher in first grade several years ago, I was never taught that I had to teach fluency. And I remember, and this was many, many years ago, my first year teaching, doing a fluency lesson for the first time in guided reading. So I was working with a small group of students, and it was parent visitation, so it was November. And I really was unsure as to what to do to get them to be fluent. And we were all at the back table, and there were parents listening and watching what we were doing. And all of a sudden it dawned on me that what I was doing by just having them read out loud was not going to make them fluent. And I thought, wow, how do you teach fluency? It's in my curriculum, but they're just not getting it from hearing me read fluently. And it was at that moment, and I was beginning my master's degree in reading at that point, that I went off in search of strategies to teach fluency and stumbled upon quite a few. But never did I know that it was something that had to be explicitly taught, and I had no idea how to do it. So when you're explicitly teaching, you have to teach three main areas, and those are the three components of fluency. You have to teach students to have that automaticity. And this is probably pretty much aside from fluency instruction, but what we're doing is we are instructing them in the high frequency words and the text cues to look for when they're reading. So you want to have that sight word program that you're doing word of the day, or you're posting words in the classroom and making them practice reading them in a flash, but also getting them ready to look ahead in their reading for punctuation cues, clues that there's dialogue coming up, and also those text features. Does the print get bigger and bolder? Does it get tiny? Does it slant sideways? Are there those three dots that make you pause? So we have to teach them how to look into the text and also how to read those high frequency words quickly. To explicitly teach accuracy, we are going to make sure they understand how to decode words that are unknown. And this is where we're teaching those reading strategy cues of what does it look like? Look at the picture, what is the context of the sentence, and what does the grammar in the sentence help you guess in the situation. So all those things we talked about a few weeks ago during our Word of the Day video, we are making sure that they have those reading strategies in place to decode new words. So really, other than the text cues, we haven't done anything specific to fluency. This is where prosody comes in, and prosody is the biggest component to sounding like a fluent reader. The other things just get you to be a good reader. Prosody is where we have to instruct, model, try it out, how to read expressively, how to phrase, how do we figure out the phrases in our text, what's the appropriate volume, how do I make my words smooth, and again, back to those pacing cues from the text. When do I slow down? When do I pause? When do I stop? What do I do when I get to dialogue or different text features? And these are mini lessons that you will have many times. And again, those mini lessons, sometimes we have an I do, where the teacher is modeling. Then the next time you teach the mini lesson about the same skill, it's a we do. And then when you reteach it again, if they're ready, it's a you do, where they'll work in small groups, so they'll work independently on that skill. We want to gradually release and scaffold everything that we teach explicitly in a mini lesson.